Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium, the final cut. We're here with the local alcoholics, and we had some nice chats here. This new area, we found our badge, we found out that we crashed our car. We're making progress. And we got some breakthroughs here. Okay, we don't have sound. The little guy gets smaller and smaller as you risk about above the dollhouse wall. You see him out in the snow, on the streets, in the shop in the corner, and finally in a matchbox house. Sitting by the window, white flowers on the window still. You can smell them from up here. It's awful. A white morning, a modern death, divorce, or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him. Make him smaller, make him less you.
Call the Mama Dakwa.
Here we go.
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Call du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
+3 perception. That is massive. That is massive. We have the chewing gum thing here. Yeah, look at that. We now have perception 8, and because of the other one, we can level it up one more time, so we can bring it to 9 right now. That is massive. Okay. Let's look around a little bit more in this new area.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Hey, where's your mom?
The kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game.
You guys look identical.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
Yeah, I said that.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt.
You're bad with kids.
And what are you, Kid Master General?
Maybe I am. Now, how about some actual police work? We are not getting anything here.
Okay, jeez. All this talk about work and working and being productive and working. How to see the details, the color all warm and welcoming, cozy though. The flower grow where nothing really grows, maybe in the spring. Ooh, what's this? Book. Primer for all small kids. Inside here. I do want to explore this area a little bit and get a sense for it. And I think then my next goal after returning is to talk to the Wall Pines lady, whose name I always forget. And now that we have the badge, she will tell us more about the whole murdering thingy. And we didn't have to force Tommy to anything. That's good. Industrial coal pellets burn with an orange glow. Is that another skewer? Oh, maybe we can bring that back to guard to convince him that we can sing kind of a replace the skewer.
Hello, mister.
Little Lily. A young girl, barely 4 or 5 years old, sits on the sofa. She's looking at you with frank curiosity.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Where are your parents?
My mom's outside. And I don't really know about my dad.
She gives you a bright smile like it's a good thing. Are the twins outside your brothers?
Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart.
They look identical, right? I said the same
They
thing.
look identical.
He slowly processes the word, then snickers with laughter. What's this? Show her the stuffed bird you took from the ceiling.
It's a grouse.
He yelps, smiling broadly.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace
Yeah.
the broken skewer you almost certainly broke.
Can I have it? I know someone who really likes stuffed birds.
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway.
Okay.
It looks angry.
What's the thing you're holding?
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like,
What's the fuzzy beast up to demonstrate?
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Lambie looks soft.
yes. Very soft.
He pushes the stuffed animal towards you. Press your cheek against Lambie.
Isn't he soft?
Very soft. She's right. Lambie is very soft. She rubs the white fur against your cheek, then returns the lamb into her lap, cuddling it. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that's cool that we got the bird. That might help us with guard. Great. Because we need to sing karaoke. That is our main quest here. Above anything else. And maybe at some point learning the name of the Wild Pines lady whose name I always forget. Yeah, I saw a lady sitting outside as well. Maybe that is the mother. There.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
If you can't see, then how did you know I was here?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come.
Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Trouble? Say the second thing, Bratan. Shows you got style.
We're cops. We're hellraisers. Click, click, bang, bang.
No, you're not. I've seen you around here before. 12 years ago. You didn't raise any hell.
Oh.
You were quite helpful, actually. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally.
Oh.
I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there.
Oh, that's the one with the red chair,
He
probably.
was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
I am an ill omen, alright.
You're not. No one around here considers us an ill omen. People would have told us.
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone. Searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Where could someone stay around here?
Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
Oh, okay. How much is it?
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
Wait, hold on. You're just giving it to me?
No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there.
It's this guy, guard, who makes me give him money every night, just so I don't die out in the cold.
That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours.
Wait, why isn't anyone using the room?
My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
It's not that she misses the kids. They've been gone too long for that. But deep, deep down, the old woman is incurably lonely.
One more time. I can just have the room.
Aye. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and roof over it. That's more than some folks have around here.
It would help me stay in touch with the proletariat.
You best not be plotting another revolution under my roof. We barely got through the last one. But the room, do you want it?
Sure.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Fine.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only. Drinking.
Finally, you have those lamos of Martinez off your back, Bratan. This looks like a great place to bring chicks.
Oh, does it now? What is in this fishing village?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
There's got to be something here, tell me.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
The pox, what's that?
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses, shacks as far as the eye can see.
What happened to the hospital?
The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now.
Who else lives in this village?
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they're away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
Oh yeah, I met a couple of drunks here.
I'm sure you did. Nature keeps them in rotation. A new face pops up every now and then, and an old one disappears and is forgotten. This is who we are.
Relax. You're not a new face. She doesn't mean you. You're an outsider. And a cop, remember?
Is there a way to make a little money around here?
Here? For you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find.
Alright, there's another topic I'd like to address.
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
What's further down the coast?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Why is it abandoned?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
Get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on?
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. It started a few days ago, and now it's blasting even through the night. And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that.
Perhaps the mysterious music is somehow connected to the case. A Rusalka or a half-demonic Apsara singing.
What else is on down the coast?
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Which is it then? Apartments or electrical plant?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
Anything else of note?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
Who'd want to come to a fish market here?
No one. That's why it's closed.
Fair enough.
It was once a bustling place, back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else.
That's it? There's gotta be more along the coast.
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
Drops a bar of soap into a bucket with a splash. Tell me more about yourself. Who exactly are you?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
You can call me Tequila Sunset.
Why would I do that? That's a fool's name. Are you a fool? Don't ridicule yourself before an old woman, officer. It's undignified.
You know anything about a lost jacket?
What do you want with a lost jacket?
That's an excellent question, ma'am.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
You're trying to wink at me, aren't you? I can't see. Or did you forget that part? Are you getting a reward for it at least?
Yes.
Good for you. Can't expect to receive help if you're not helpful in return. A fine arrangement, that. Anyhow, you might ask Lillian if she's seen anything lately. That girl's got a way of attracting lost and broken things.
Okay. Alright, is this our new home? This where we live now? You can see into the house from this angle. Can't see into this house. Inside you hear the cozy sound of some kind of heaters.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
Unlock the shack.
I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangement. But just so you know, after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now.
Yeah, I do want to check it out. Since we're now a proud homeowner. Hey. You see the waves, the sea, church. What's this music? Old science fiction magazines, books about bird watching, an almanac from 39. This intricate heat engine hums quietly, giving out a pleasant warmth. The floorboards crack underneath your step. That's some nice music.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Shaving the right
The
comb.
water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy.
Let's wash this. It's time to wash.
Scrubbing all the necrotic tissue off your hands takes a while. The fingernails are especially hard. Death has made its way into every nook and cranny. But man persists. And finally, your bruised hands look clean and presentable. Sort of. The sudden absence of the morbid dead tissue smell is uplifting.
Good. Oh, nope.
Your hand trembles as you scratch your cheek. Oh no, that's not how a grown man shaves.
Yeah, let's leave it for now before
I
we
would've
cut
cut
open
your
an
throat.
artery.
The centipede is exaggerating. People don't actually cut their own throats when they're shaving. At least, not accidentally.
Let's not risk it.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with...
Yeah, that is the same as the mirror in the Whirling in Rags. Oh. Oh, Jeff. Jacket. I guess that is the bed where we would go to rest, so... Let's see what the clothes do. Logic, but... Does that compare to... Need to call visual calculus. I think I stay with this one for now. Alright. Return to Kim. Alright. Also, is that Liliane? Another bottle. He's doing in the fish. Before I talk to you, I just want to a quick glance around. More money. The planks creak beneath your weight. Rude. The ladder leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp. Boat is floating freely in the water. I think I will actually level up the perception even more, now that we are able to. Like having high perception is very helpful. Ooh. Franco-Nigerian cavalry boots. Composure +1, -1 savoir-faire. Perception. We are a perception king now. That's 10 perception. Yeah. Woman in a raincoat stands on the quay. Considering an overturned boat, a sword in a scabbard hangs from her hip.
Anything I can help you with?
As always, I am the lawbringer.
You've graduated to Lawbringer now?
Men with authority have their quirks. Comes with never being second-guessed about anything. So what brings you here, Lawbringer?
Law job. That depends. Where are we exactly?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Illisible.
Why?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
Wind rattles her earrings. I have questions. The first is, what's your name?
The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second one.
Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Nice sword. Does it come with a story?
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly.
Hold on, do you know how to use it?
Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
It is imposing.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
Why do you need intimidation tactics?
From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
Why don't more women arm themselves if it's so effective?
What makes you think we haven't?
Fair enough.
The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Show her the wonder. Coach means the expression.
Behold! Her eyes meet yours, and suddenly she starts laughing. It's hoarse, as if she's hasn't laughed in a while.
Not bad.
You like it?
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
Can I borrow that sword?
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check. You would put me in an early grave.
She's making a joke. Her voice softens.
So, where are all the men now?
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying.
Wait, why, if they're thick-headed?
Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
The expression doesn't change. It's hard to say if it's a joke.
If it is, Then why the melancholy?
Where's your husband now?
Gone.
He disappeared? Sounds like a missing person case.
It absolutely does not. We are not going to look for him.
No. There's nothing to find. He's dead. Lost to the waves.
That's bad. What happened?
Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
Yeah, death is nothing. I shit on death.
I don't. But us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She glances at the village where 2 little kids are playing with what looks like a rock.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Do it! Hit on the widow! It's the right thing to do!
Hit on the widow. Oh boy. Okay, we don't have a spot for a date. Kim's presence makes it awkward. Okay, gotta prepare this, but maybe we can do something about it. I'm looking for someone. Maybe you can help.
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for a missing cryptozoologist.
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
People who look for animals mainstream scientists deny exist.
Aha! Like snowmen.
Snowmen? I haven't about those.
2 old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Wait, the like?
Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men, burning rhinos. You get the picture.
Where did they go?
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
That's it for now.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Idiot Doom Spiral over there needs his jacket. Have you seen it?
Remarkable. That one already lost everything else, and now his jacket too. It's a good thing, too, that he has an actual police officer looking for it. Good old Doom Spiral. Upper management to the core.
That's odd. Is she actually impressed?
I don't really know why I do things. Everything just happens to me.
Aye. We all feel that way sometimes. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the protagonist, even in my own life story.
A gush of sadness suddenly washes over her.
Anyway, I'd looked near the fish market north of here on the boardwalk. Drunks are drawn to markets for some reason. Was there something else?
What do you do around here?
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff.
What else?
I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic Insular Indian cuisine.
Is that enough to make a living?
Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her. This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Walking on the beach sounds quite romantic.
Oh, very. Finding pieces of glass, bits of wood. Every once in a while we get dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once.
Oh,
What else? Bottles, drugs also, lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass. Very romantic.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
okay. A mine. The RCM could use a mine. Where is it?
Well, the RCM has to wait for another one because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up. The blast was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing.
So I take that's your skiff?
Sure is. The Sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
Okay. So we might have a romance option in the future. We just gotta find a nice spot for a date. And we need to approach her without Kim. And then maybe we are able to arrange a date. Okay, so that leads back around. I was there. I'm kind of curious to find out how the fast travel works, actually. And it's already 2 p.m., so maybe what I want to do is actually travel here. Maybe we can then talk to the Wild Pines lady, whose name I always forget, which is her name now. There's something down there. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. See, that is why I like having that high perception. We just pick up on so many more things around us. Oh. The sea breeze carries more than salt. Meat, not rotten, not fresh. Grilled. Now that we have our badge, so let's do that, and then I think after that I will return. I don't want to worry about it getting too late and not being able to talk to her today.
You're back?
Okay.
Good. What can I help you with?
By the way, I've talked to Everett Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Finally, time to choose sides.
He's a beautiful man, beautiful and just.
Just? In what way?
In a nice, crunchy, white working class way, of course.
Of course. How else would he have stayed in power all these years if it were not for ethnic nationalism? Or wait. Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
He looks at the ground and nods.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
That money you gave me, would that make things weird if I shared information, I mean?
Weird? Oh no. One of the positive things to come from the revolution is the unhindered exchange of information, you see, even when it comes to trade secrets. Which isn't to suggest our talks constitute corporate espionage. Even if they did, it would be fine. But they don't, since you logged the money as a donation, and this is clearly just gossip between friends.
I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk, helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
Yes.
Why, if I may ask? Why make them more drunk? Aren't they corked enough already?
Yes, Detective. What were you hoping to accomplish with this strange thing?
I worship Al Ghul in many ways.
Very curious. A very curious thing to do.
Truly. But that's how he operates. He just does things, man. And then talks about them, even if it's inappropriate.
A strange equanimity has overtaken the lieutenant. He's just going with the flow now. Easier that way.
What else?
Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. When I said be wacky, I didn't mean wildly, grossly irresponsible and damaging to the RCM.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of...
Should have given me more of an idea of how wacky we are supposed to get.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
Mr. Everett says it's almost ready to be found.
Did he now? Well, then it should be any day now. Unless, of course, he's lying to you. Anyway, was there anything else you've heard?
Let's talk about something else.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat.
Okay, let's
Until
get to
then,
business. I
is
found my
there
badge.
anything I can help you with? By love, you did.
Inspects the piece of blue plastic, her eyes scanning from left to right.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious.
Seaweed
What can I
drips
help you with,
from
Lieutenant
the badge in
Freighter?
your hand. It smells of fish.
How about you share your information on the lynching, now that you've seen his badge?
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of the badge, I have informed my employer there will be a probe. I cannot rescind that promise. To my knowledge, the drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them.
This was your plan all along.
My plan is to share information. The only way to do that now is by telling my employers you've kept your end, which I hope you will, because let me tell you, we are in dire waters.
Meaning, the information she has will raise the stakes in this game.
Damn it.
The sooner the probe is finished, the sooner I can share crucial information with you. Now, is there anything I can do for you in the meanwhile? Tea, perhaps?
God damn it. She got us. So maybe I do have to push Tommy. Don't want to. But there must be another way then. But we're kind of running out of time as well. I hate it. Don't want to do it. But I think I may have to do it.
Still
Sorry,
here,
Tommy.
stuck in this damn jam. What? But I told you she's my friend. Please don't make me give her up, Detective.
Let's try this
Get someone
first
else. There's a
again.
ton of drivers
Maybe
here.
we now have a different
You're not going
option.
to put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
Imagine it, an explosion of stars.
She's a suspect and I need you to tell me where she
Money,
is, or I can't finish the
machines.
investigation. I hate it.
I thought you were a different kind of cop.
Something breaks in him as he stares into your eyes.
The realization that you've used his friendliness and goodwill for your own ends. Remember, you're doing it for the bigger investigation. This is important. Relax.
Where is the lady driver?
Here.
He takes a keyring from his pocket and looks at it before giving it to you in silence.
Well, Lori's still here. Down past the statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
When did she leave?
Last Friday.
He blinks, his eyes half empty now. Anything else, like where she is now?
No. I don't know.
Why did you have the keys?
She left them to me. Because she trusted me. So I can get it out of the way when the jam breaks loose. Otherwise...
Doesn't finish the sentence.
The other drivers would have to tow it or break in to get the machines moving.
I'm sorry I had to do this.
I bet you are.
And he's sorry he couldn't be what he wants to be. A good person. His last line, his revenge on the world.
Let's go.
Thank you for your cooperation, sir. I know it was hard, but you did the right thing.
You don't really think so.
I really do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be in the RCM. Take care, sir.
Oh, I feel so bad about it. So bad about it, but I think we had to do it. So... somewhere here. Ah, I see.
This green found, A to Z, contemporain, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This is the one our man pointed to.
Try to peek in the window.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of the seat and two steering levers. Posters cover the small windows in the back. You can't make out what's on them. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Try the door handle.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Knock the door.
You push the key into the lock and turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the door pops back a few centimeters. You can just...
Open it.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Admire the posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
Stop and wonder, what's that smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably Grenade No. 5.
Study the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy.
Okay.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Examine the radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too.
Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
Okay.
The ghostly actresses, and the rusty toolbox under the driver's seat, and the oddly bulging seat cover.
Check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Why would anyone glue a piece of sandpaper to the gas pedal?
Sandpaper? A novel technique. Must be to offer some extra grip to the driver's foot.
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole. Didn't we, wasn't like one of the boot prints at the tree, like very smooth?
Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
One of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Ah. Wait, the missing 8th Hardy here?
Looks like her, yes.
He's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful.
Now we know for certain who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
I mean, I think the entire Union is involved. Maybe all of Martinez.
We should talk with Titus, see what he's got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. The radio transmitter sits on the center console, and a faint smell of perfume is in the air.
I love the cover of the passenger seat.
Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has
Bingo.
been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Bonne prise.
The lieutenant commends you as you shift through the treasure, well worn and folded into neat squares. Hold open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the mass of brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Where does the road lead?
To Couronne, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Fold open the second map.
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history.
Look at the third map.
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake.
What does this all mean?
It means that the smugglers are secretly using the motorway to transport their goods and materials. They've infiltrated the East Motor Tract, most likely. The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
Where does the contraband end up?
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it.
Besmerti? That sounds vaguely familiar.
The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes, but really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names like La Puta Madre and Aura Masta, it's a dark parody.
Who do you think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect. Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended well for those involved.
Uh-oh.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it. Somewhere on a hidden field, a flash of light, a whirring sound. Camera lenses focus on a man in a ragged police uniform, standing in a field of blood-red poppies. A blurry figure dressed in white stands right by the camera. The bedraggled cop is holding a manure fork. "Don't hurt me," he whimpers. "But why? Why would I hurt my own peon?" asks the man in white. What kind of an animal would do such a thing?
Return the stack of papers under the seat.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick these up later.
The stack of maps looks just like before, barely
Let's pull out
noticeable.
the toolbox.
A metallic drill slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Unfold the
It's an
newspaper.
issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Pick up the note.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the ULAN frequency system.
The ULAN frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Unfold the newspaper.
It's an issue of Peripherique.
Oh.
It looks like
The ULAN...
pull out toolbox slides back.
Okay.
Close the rusty old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Okay.
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
It's like something police would do. What do you think of all this killing?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. I'm not sure what the ULAN frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks. Oh, and the maps we found. They reveal the geographical extent of the operation. Looks like they've used abandoned tunnels and access roads to stay hidden. This is useful info. And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks. This was quite the find.
What about the movie posters? How do they factor in on all this?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Maybe the trader is some sort of cinephile.
Yes, well,
Unimportant.
So it turns out this is connected to the Union.
like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
Will the RCM open an investigation into this?
We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
What are you thinking?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madre grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Okay, debrief over.
Debrief over, after you.
All right, I think this is a good point to take a break, and then next time we will talk to Joyce again now with the additional information. Thank you all for joining me for today's episode of Disco Elysium, the final cut. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. That all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. If you want to go above and beyond, you can check out the Patreon link down below, and I will be back with more Disco Elysium, the final cut, tomorrow. Until then, have a great time.